control, something I spoke about with KC, and the fact is they had little turnaround, but they were still able to deal the damage to some of the best teams in the world who had a lot more prep, a lot more time under their belt. Now, they're coming in here with a couple days. And hey, KC with a couple days could be a scary thing. Time to put them to the test. On the side of GIANTX, their defense start. We'll see them not really be able to use the, or rather it was KC that chose the defense, wasn't it, Tom?
Yeah.
So that graphic is not right, but that's okay.
Yeah, you know, the HUD's still being transported over from Madrid, so it'll be here soon, don't worry. It's on the fastest delivery possible. Purpo, though, this is what we like to see. Leading that charge, taking that space, and Vitinho, well, his debut has not gone fantastically on the Yoru. Narrate is just holding the line, already managing to reposition. I think a little bit surprised to spot Purpo in that corner. And now it leaves, well, the debut of one agent didn't go fantastically. Maybe the Cypher debut is going to work.
All right. I mean, the pistol round Yoru on attack, sure. I don't want to say the debut's gone to hell just yet, but yeah, for Redgar, maybe there's a chance. He could pop off with 3. They're watching every single angle.
Yeah, they're ready.
It doesn't matter where he comes from. First player spots him, even if they go down 1v2 with info to play with. And look at the reaction. Immediately, they put him in a box.
Look where the
they know
spike
he
is as well.
And they run to the site, take the fight together. There's no way. It's going to be a triple swing on contact.
They don't even need to take the fight. He doesn't actually have time to go and get the spike and plant it. So they're just waiting for him to walk into an implausible angle. And yeah, KC, as ever, vigilant. And that's what we've enjoyed so much about this team is you're coming in with a group of youngsters, a very experienced coach, and a brand new IGL, or brand new to the role at least. And somehow this team has always looked incredibly structured with everything they do. And that's, I'll be honest, that's the one thing I'm a little bit disappointed with going into this map is the comp they're playing is old school. Like, this is something we've seen for a long, long time, like running in with those double initiators, basically the double sentinel with the Viper and the Cypher. But if their synergy's on point, I don't think it will matter.
Well, 1-0, of course, to the defensive side of Carmine Core. I'll keep you updated on that as we go throughout it. Suppose I will start doing a little tally up here.
Somehow you're going to write the tally the wrong way around and confuse yourself.
Hold on, we can draw on the screen.
Let's not
there we go, perfect.
That. But they're also on the wrong side, so it doesn't really help too much.
Color it in blue. Get a blue color. You've got time, Tom. You work away on that.
What? Oh, I'm a genius.
What have you done? Oh wow, that's actually good. That's actually good.
But I only have the number 1. So after this round, this doesn't work anymore. But for right now,
we've saved
that is currently the scoreline.
It's perfect. Well, at least there's some semblance of. Oh, I don't know what's going on anymore, Tom. Well, for GIANTX, they're pulled back. They're on the A site, nice and cozy, looking for a little bit of mid control down through the doors. They haven't seen anything there. I mean, this is a round where they come in with a decent amount on the side of KC's defense, of course. But the Giants, they'll blitz into A. They've got a lot of space through that tube, though. No, I mean, it's being watched from way back in spawn. That's
it's also just timing now. How much damage can they do? Well, shit. It's just going to farm. Getting himself halfway to that Viper's Pit in a singular round is definitely going to help out in the future. And for Cloud, well, at this stage, it's more so die. Like, you've just got to go down. You don't want to be holding on to just a classic. Martin will get that final frag and put them 2-0 up.
Good start. Expected after the pistol. Tidied up nicely. Now we see an opportunity for them to take it even further. And I mean, for Shin, it's not bad as well picking up those orbs early. I think a lot of this is similar to the broadcast. They're going to iron out some of those little issues as the rounds go on. On the side of GIANTX, here's those issues especially. I mean, they're trying to figure out fist bumps, high fives. What's the default for KC? They're getting back in the swing of things. Give them some time. But a 2-0 lead is good. This is their opportunity to capitalize. GIANTX are going to buy rifles. They're going to invest pretty fully.
Ooh.
An opportunity for Redgar presenting itself. 2 players sneaking up, but does he check the left? He's seen one close. He tries to retreat, and Martin catches him. Very nice by KC with the double 2 push. It's netted them a lot of value. The pressure's on B for them to hold on, but look at the util and the players on the way.
Yeah, the rotation's already coming in quickly for that defensive side. Of course, something we didn't talk too much about is the fact that we haven't seen much of the Sentinel at all out from Tamazi. For most of the time, he's basically just been playing on other agents. Nice work from Cloud, though. managing to put this round on his back. For Martin, though, he does still have a rifle. Has something to play with, can try and do a little bit of damage. We can see how safe GIANTX are being using that drone late in the round.
We mentioned this is a round that KC shouldn't really win, but they've got a chance with Martin now. The positions are good, though, from GIANTX. You've got a player tucked up close that has to be cleared, and Cloud is just a little too quick. 4 kills in that round for GIANTX. That's a lifeline. If he doesn't pop off, they could have traded that round out and ended up with next to nobody or just nobody online. All right. Speedy.
That's one of those things. That's what I was bringing up during the round, is that this is actually within this team. Thomasy, I believe, first time playing on a Cypher. Now, we were told he was moving to a Sentinel, and then over the last couple of months has played Viper 19 times and played a couple of other agents along the way. So, again, new ground for him, at least within this team. But for now, at least, we are going to be seeing this aggressive push into the site. GIANTX taking that space, and not really anybody actually looking to hold on to it.
Yeah, they know what they're up against at this point. They just create that space instead. Vitinho being an annoyance up close at yellow, now just backing out. Having created the space, having found it all, here comes a drone up and over from Magnum. And they're looking to barrel forward on the back of this as a decoy that hasn't quite distracted them or drawn their vision. And as KC close in towards the site, the fight is good for Shin. Now right into Mazzy stepping up too. And they know exactly where Hoodie is thanks to the last kill. But his util could buy some time. One snakebite already used, but he's just about out of toxins. Now it comes down to a 1v3 fight, not one he's likely to win. He needs to hit these opening shots. He'll find the first, but that is all. GIANTX, they won their round on round 3 when they were expected to, but KC are right back in the game.
And this is something they were good at throughout the entirety of kickoff, and when you went over to Masters as well, the retakes from KC. I think one of the better teams within EMEA is sort of giving up that control and then moving back in as a unit. And while in the end, made it look quite easy. There is still going to be a purchase, though. GIANTX are going to be able to put something onto the board. They could even maybe pad the gap a little bit with the fact that they have the Hunter's Fury online. But Shin being one away from that Viper's Pit might help them out if he can get himself a kill.
One suppressed.
Oh, we can take stock of where we are. You can look at GIANTX's credits down on their last legs. Big investment from this attacking side now to try to push KC back from this early start. One that they're likely to just run away with, considering the squad and their performance internationally. Not a map they're known for. And with Purpo taking the opening and dropping Martin, KC are now on the back foot. How will they fill in this information, this void that they're left with? I mean, the good thing is all that util on B and the cam, it's locking down the control. They can afford to commit bodies elsewhere, and those bodies are coming down middle, looking for a fight on Redgar. His timing could be good. And the hat off his head. He's lucky to get out of there alive.
He knows where he is now.
At least.
Just about, and it will give the space over in towards the site. Shock Dart not going to have the desired result. And at least at this point, not a bad position for GIANTX to fight from. Already looking for the trade back. Purple is going to manage to get another. Hoodie with one more. And now Magnum only with a Marshal in hand, and he's being flanked. Redgar, the survivor, is going to get that backstab in the end. A response once again from GIANTX. A back and forth to kick off for Breeze.
They're traded out decently as well, Tom, as far as ults go. I mean, GIANTX are going to have a lot coming online, high impact ones later. But for them early on, it's a good sign to still be able to compete like that, make these rounds work. Redgar even getting his slow play up through mid. You know, he used to command one of the best Cypher players out there for flanking, for getting behind, for being a menace. It's going to be very fun to see him attempting to do some of that himself, already finding success in round 5. Round 6 sees the reward. GIANTX of rifles. As I said, ulti's coming online for the next round, or maybe just after. And if you look at what KC are working with, well, pistols. So for GIANTX, their ult economy is going to help them out in the next full buy.
Do you want to know something really interesting?
What's that?
So we've spoken about this before.
Okay.
Purpo, I would say, was somewhat harshly given his debut in the VCT, playing for a team called Mech.
Yeah.
Do you remember what map he was subbed in for, Mitch?
I do not.
It was Breeze. So he's come back to play against Redgar this time on the same map that he was subbed in for. Yeah, it's all swings and roundabouts. The streets never forget with someone like Purpo.
Oh, that's
Although
it.
Hoodie, wow, what a start to the round.
Yeah, it's huge. They have pistols, but actually it's good that Hoodie gets those kills. That's Viper's Pit online. I mentioned that it might be next round, it might be the one after. Well, it is next round. A big ultimate to have, especially when KC have their own pit to play with. Now, Shin's picked up a weapon, so he is out of here. He wants to save that, but Tamazi and Narrate aren't too keen on doing the same. They'll go down to the spike, save over some money. Those sheriffs not worth quite as much. And we'll see a sixth round close with 3-3, neck and neck, despite a pistol round to KC, a bounce back in round 4. GIANTX have those legs to their attack already. And I guess this is the question, right, for KC. Letting this map through, Tom, you mentioned that this was a map they were banning constantly. They didn't want to play it. And now opening up the season, maybe it's because it's early season as well, though. We don't know whether they've worked a ton and this has been their speciality, or whether they're like, hey, let's try it now, see, and we can figure out our pool as the season goes on.
So I think they ended up banning Ascent, so it could just be that they felt a little bit less comfortable on that map. And I guess also versus a team like GIANTX, who've just brought in another superstar duelist. You're thinking, do we really want to face off against Purpo's Jet on that map? Maybe not. I think also just it might be an Eng thing of like, I don't want to have a permaban. Like, I don't want to have a map that we don't play, so I'll let it through, see how it goes. And the thing is, I especially think on Breeze with the players that they've got, they can definitely get away with it. Look at the amount of aggression already, though. A complete push through B is going to garner them the information that it has to be either towards mid or towards that A site. And with 2 players already deep within A, 1 waiting to watch the tube, they are about to have a flank that could catch players off.
Yeah, it's the one gap that GIANTX have, even as Redgar comes back through mid. But do they check it? Do they even look to their left on the way through? They haven't. They haven't just yet, and they've taken a kill. This is where, presumably, Redgar turns around and finds them, but a little too late to the party. KC have already picked up a wealth of kills, and that advantage will be hard to fight back from. The pit not even reaching all the way onto the spike. This is going to make it incredibly difficult if Purpo goes down for Hoodie to have very much of any impact, especially with a Vandal. Those sprays through the smoke aren't going to go too well. Well, here's a real test for Hoodie. They know where he is now. They've echoed, well, I thought they did. They're still looking in main. He almost snuck his way back over, but just too many bodies to deal with. The round goes to KC convincingly.
Yeah, this is one of those sort of problems that we would suggest a team might have if they're not running a Cypher. GIANTX are running a Cypher, so that the fact that they managed to get that far with absolutely no one realizing is a big problem. And I think either you're going to see a pause taken or just something from Redgar to say, okay, we can't allow that to happen again, because that is such a ridiculous amount of map control that they've managed to take without any information going in the other direction. And while for KC, it almost gave them a free round. Like, they're able to get all the way through, have the players within the site, so even the players pushing were just walking into a stack.
Yeah, really gorgeous round from that defensive side, although, again, timing for Redgar was key there. Maybe even the cam placement, but I think the idea was to cover the tube push, but with that many players there, it's you can sometimes commit the player to it. It's one of those things. They left one gap. That happens to be the gap that KC walked straight into unknowingly. Now in round number 8, GIANTX still full bot, still with some of those ultis to play with, and they've managed to surround these players on A. The door is open, the players are blitzing out. GIANTX not winning the engagements to start with, and Redgar's gone down to one of their own snake bites. This is a disaster. They haven't even seen Martine. He's able to pick one up inside the smoke and bail back into main. The attackers are now the defenders, and they're surrounded. This is a terrible round. And the information, you know, it's coming in, not for long. That rate's gonna fall eventually, but it's still a 4 versus 2.
Yeah, and they have no map control. That's the bigger problem. You are surrounded on all flanks. They're going to have to almost try and fight forward, baiting them in on the plant, but you can see Tomasi waiting deep, and Martine on the corner leaves Vitinho alone, and there's just absolutely nowhere he can go. They might even allow him to get the plant down just so they can get into position to try and clear him from that angle, and well, I don't mind it. You got to try something audacious. You're trapped. You're hoping that maybe somehow they're not looking, but KC had everything covered.
Yeah, Shin saw that gate crash, called it immediately, so there was no way for him to sneak his way out. All in all, that is a tragic round. Oh, he was already walking through a snake bite, got hit by so much utility, tagged down low, and then just that friendly snake bite beckoning him in. I don't think we needed a replay of it, to be fair, but, you know, throw him under the bus.
Just in case you didn't know how he died, there it is. It was almost purely to snake bites, but
Almost
a couple
1G.
of rounds I think Redgar is going to want to forget. That debut on the Cypher hasn't been fantastic so far, I'll be honest. Definitely some gaps within it. And they're going to go back to this B-site hold. Now, bear in mind, last time out, Cloud absolutely farmed. It's not gone well to start.
Yeah, but they've gotten a lot of space. So they've lost a player, but at what cost? Well, nothing they're able to convert by the looks of it. What was that shot by Martin? 3 quick kills! And GIANTX are way behind.
I thought Magnum was meant to be the one with the shaky aim.
Yeah,
that was snappy
He
aim.
snapped his DPI button in the middle of that fight by the looks of it.
That was ridiculous, but hey, 6 and 3 up. Any sort of danger in this half is somewhat diminished. Oh, here we go again. Like it looked like he was even sort of surprised by the peak timing, and then also just catches the second player.
They're vibing, man. That's a...
Yeah, we can't play his mic.
No,
No,
that's muted. That's muted, right.
Expecting it to be this explosive performance where they finally have this star jet. Maybe you weren't a Defo fan. You're like, oh, this is the guy. And then he played, and you're like, oh.
Bring back Defo.
Okay, the pressure maybe got to him a little bit. And so far, we're not seeing it yet. Now, I'm not going to count him out after what is 9 rounds in a game. Yeah, it's never going to be easy. But this composition is kind of built for the attack.
Yeah.
So on defense, it's not going to get any easier.
You don't need Purpo to find those openings, but you need one of Purpo and Fortinho to be hitting. If you're not, you're getting space, but you're losing advantages, and you don't win rounds that way. At least not many teams do. Hunter's Fury used. It's caught one, and the updraft is saved. Purpo, but he's caught. Unlucky for him, but Redgar might be able to retrieve some advantage, but they saw him. They just caught a pixel of him and immediately refocus, push him back, and move towards this mid-rotation. They know that one player's out of pace. That's a 5v3 on the side if they get there quickly enough. And we can see that one player's even in the tube with the Viper's Pit down. They're going to find it hard to fight their way back through. Snakebite in. Toxin's running out. There's one kill for Hoodie, but the immediate re-aggression, it stacks up the advantage for KC. Cloud,
that's too late.
Oh, he's going crazy. He's popped it way late, and even then, in a 1 versus 3, this was always
I don't know how he survived, but...
I was kind of alluding to Martin killing him, but, you know, whatever. The other way around, all good. Someone else could have defused it in the meantime. Would have worked out.
Yeah, again, just it looked kind of scrappy. Like, you got yourself into an afterplant with the snake bites. I don't even think the snake bite connected, because they put the Viper's Pit and instantly started defusing, got it to half. And he had an orb on it. So one of the pieces of utility must have not been on top. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to defuse.
Nice odds! Let's go!
Nice odds! There is nothing better, though, than when you take a round and you just as you're winning, you hear that old popular, yeah, don't got that anymore, do you? I like Fortinho's clearance. It's good. That's what the dimensional drift is all about.
They're happy to play retake, though. That has been the case so far in this game. They're already going. He's right on the corner already. Pop flash through the timing. Not bad from Fortinho. At least gets rid of Tomazi. But Martin is just looking to try and do this alone. Has support from Magnum. Oh, it's labored. But eventually the second shot from Hoodie is wonderful. Leaving it into a 2v2 scenario. Redgar not going to get anything done. And now it's left onto Cloud. There's no other man you'd want in this sort of scenario, but already being pinged up by the drone. I think it's already going to start being diffused. I don't think that's actually connected. He can't quite correct. Magnum will get themselves another round, an 8th onto the board. Bear in mind, this was 3-3.
You know what I've really liked about Magnum? I'm glad he gets this round, because those are the rounds people remember. You get 3 kills, you did good, your kills go up on the board. You're 8 and 6 now, you're positive, fantastic. That gets you into the good graces of most of the community. But the reality is his util has been sick. Only 1 assist, and that was this wasn't even 1. No, it wasn't, because he got the kill. A couple of times I've seen this. I think when he used his ult, he'd already popped a recon over because Purple updrafted and got revealed again. Add to that this round here where you have the flash that came out of Narrate, but there was a reveal popped as well. So that player's blind, spraying, and now he's being revealed just as everyone's ready to fight again. It's been really good to see that utility, even if his teammates haven't followed up on it. It's gotten them info, and Magnum's been able to follow up on a couple of those kills himself. 8-3 right now. Last round of the half. Full investment from both squads, of course. No real ultis in play. This could be a game changer. The op in the hands of Purpo, but there's an op in the hands of Martine, and it's a head-to-head battle that Purpo wins.
Yeah, a good start to the round at least, but they're putting that pressure onto Redgar again. He's been having a bit of a rough time. I'm surprised Magnum is still going for this. He is being revealed, and he somehow still kills Redgar. They're literally waiting for him. They're watching as well, just in case there's a second layer to this, and there is. Narrate, he might catch one on the way out, but no. They will be able to fade away. GIANTX, for the first time in a while, going towards that B site with a man advantage.
And they've got the perfect read. They know Viper's A, and you're pretty sure that someone just shot at you from tube. So at that point, there's only one player on B. Only one. And that's Tamazi. With deep traps as well, he's got to take the fight on them, normal as can be. And the trade is quick for Purpo. Narrate already on backside though. The pace has caught them off, and he's standing strong, taking every kill, leaving Hoodie alone. 2 orbs away from grabbing a Viper's Pit. Oh, if he had it now, that could turn the tides in his favor. But the spike is down in the open, no wall to work with. He's already got his down. It actually might get him to the spike if he used it, but instead, he goes walkabouts for a kill. The kill's found by the Viper on the other side. 9-3 at the half, Tom. This is not looking great for GIANTX, considering this is a map KC don't really play. No. Don't play. Just don't play.
No, they are yet to play it within the entirety of Kickoff and Masters, but evidently it's something they've been working on behind the scenes. But again, I feel like that's just something that comes default with this team having like such great synergy with each other. That I think they're going to be able to, unless they're up against a very well orchestrated team on the other side, I think they're going to be able to pick you apart just with good team play. And I think that's what this team has in spades. They're so good at just trading off each other, flashing for each other, putting utility in position to basically allow their aggression and to aim in and across the map. I also think GIANTX just didn't do a very good job of stopping them taking space.
I think that, yeah, that's fair. And now on their, well, on their defensive side, let's hope that's not the case for GIANTX this time around. There's definitely going to be some challenges for them. Coming back from this scoreline is very tough. Sunset up next, somewhere KC wanted to fight, and Bind as a decider. It's a long road for GIANTX if they count themselves out of this map, and they're not going to be willing to do that just yet, but Martine's trying to help them out. Quick shot delivered to Cloud's head, straight down tube with the Sheriff, and KC have a man advantage yet again.
Yeah, I think that probably has been where the golfing classes differed. I'm not certain, but I wouldn't be too scared to almost bank that maybe Martine might actually have more kills than both the duelists on the other side. Like, he has been on one, and they have been missing Tamazi as well. All the timing at the peak is so good on the trade. 3 players are waiting. 3 of them fall. Redgar, it's worse odds than the first pistol. Do you believe in the 1v4?
The 1v3, no, but the 1v4, Tom, 70 HP on Shin, 74 on Magnum.
So you believe?
No.
Wow, that was toxic. You for a second, you almost convinced me. Never mind, Narrate is going to put him in the ground, and I'll be honest, this map is looking pretty much done. It has been a pretty ludicrous streak, 7 rounds in a row now for KC without much of a response. I think they very quickly warmed up into this game, and yeah, that'll do it. I don't really know how you deal with that.
Well, he saw his elbow.
So there you go. Just in case you're wondering, Martine does have more kills than both the duelists on the other side combined.
Yeah. You know, you got to commend GIANTX for trying something new. Might be the last time we see this one from them, but especially having the attack side already under their belts, this is a comp that, put it this way, I don't expect them to thrive on the defense quite as much.
Oh, here we go. Outlaw on one side, Marshall on the other. The only real investment is that onto Purpo. Everything else is being saved for the next round for GIANTX just to give themselves a chance in the buy rounds. But it definitely is looking like a bit of a golfing class. Bear in mind, the last time these two played, it was a close series. Like, GIANTX went the distance, but I think they got bullied out of the third map. The first map, not so much. So I think we're definitely seeing how far KC have sort of leveled up in that time. I think Tomazi is probably a little bit confused that he's managed to just walk onto the B site. Normally you might be calling for teammates to rotate, but I think he got far enough and he's like, I don't actually know how I've got this far without anybody really spotting me. And in fact, GIANTX are rotating away from this. They go, this is the ruse. But at this point he's gone, I've got the whole site. There's no one here. Just come plant.
Did you see where the cam was from Redgar? I didn't spot it at the start of the round. I mean, I would have thought it's B with their setup, but it was broken somewhere. But yeah, clearly a misread from GIANTX. And these are the rounds where you want to have those stacks on a site, so you can just use the numbers to your advantage. Getting back in, I mean, maybe Purpo hits some shots and stays alive to still do damage in late round. Best hope that I've got for you. And the timing couldn't have been, oh my, narrators just slipped by a pixel.
There.
Well, this pretty much puts a pin in this one. The question is, how many orbs can he get for himself? That's already 2, and the third with his death. Not bad. Farm them up, and the rest of GIANTX will just go down to the spike. That was the plan all along.
Yeah, no surprise to see the round going the way of KC. Now just a couple away from a very, very dominant victory in map number 1. Again, it has been a long hiatus from the board now. A 3-3 scoreline, now 11-3. It's like the beast awoke midway through, and, well, not even, yeah, sort of midway through the first half.
Yeah, the first quarter.
Yeah, this is where you're going to look to see if those rifles can get anything done. It's still not a bad purchase, though. That's the thing for KC. They managed to keep the 3 rifles and the sniper in. They could still win this, and with the way they've been playing, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. There you go.
You were saying that's a first already, and Brave to stick around. Vitinho now down to 30 HP. Must have been a tag through the wall, otherwise he'd be 10. Or maybe onto the leg through the wall, but either way, he's holding on for dear life. He's escaped towards the A site with his TP. But it hasn't helped GIANTX out. With a player low and a player down, well, KC are definitely in the advantageous position. They can group up, look to trade out fights, and with the weaponry they have, it's not going to be impossible. This isn't a very hard round for them if they can use the numbers to their advantage. And I think the first thing they need to do is clear out this man on the corner. If Hoodie can find some value with Vitinho baiting for him, a lot could be done, but he's spotted immediately. Now he's going to get out of there while being revealed. He does actually escape. Cloud gets one from afar, but a very aggressive push leaves them blindsided to Vitinho's attack. Even still, though, he's only good for the 1. Cloud has to do so much more. The damage done to Tomazi, though. 38 HP. Shock dart through. Magnum. Caught as well. That's it. It's got to be. Tomazi with an outlaw in hand. Only one player that's one shot to him. Spike still to be planted, and 30 HP himself. Still a shock dart for Cloud. As soon as this is tapped, that Shocky's on the way.
He's trying to work out if there's some better weaponry for him to take.
10 seconds left.
Trying to fake out the sound a little bit. Does manage to land the shot onto Redgar. Puts this into a 1 versus 1. Cloud already looking to wrap back around, but I think Tomazi might have actually figured this one out. Trying to spot where the man on the other side is. That time ticking down. Neither player really knowing where the other is, and eventually Cloud will save them once again. It's their 4th round, and the second time he's needed a multi-frag just to get it over the line. And in a bonus again, in a bonus again.
That's the main thing. You know, he basically saved them, as we can now look at it, considering the 3-3 to 11-3. He saved them from what could have been a devastating bonus last half. Now the same thing here. If he doesn't go big, if he doesn't find every single one of these, they are right back down and basically out. Not that it's much better now. 11-4. And the rifles come through from KC. We've just seen what they can do with, I think, 2 Vandals, Bulldogs, a pistol, an Outlaw.
I was about to say.
Now they've got an ult on narrate and rifles across the board.
Well, that's because he went running in with the Ghost in the prior round. They were gunning to get this armor online as soon as possible. Now, I do like the fact that GIANTX, they've done the classic, put the Cypher setup, but then the Cypher's going to go to the other side of the map. So there's no chance that utility is going to be online. They've read or seen that the ultimate's available, and they've stacked up on the A side of the map. That's going to mean that they are a little bit shallow when it comes to the utility that's over on B, but they've done the same thing with the Viper wall as well. So they will be online when the take comes in.
Here.
I said with the full rifles, I guess admitting the outlaw still in play on Martine. I see your game. I like it. Some good opportunities on this map as well with so many sight lines. But he's diving in first. You know, crazy to see a player doing this. He swapped over weapons to grab the Vandal. And he'll be dropped down up close. Magnum didn't even bother taking the Outlaw. He's run out with a Classic in hand. Let's hope he's not needed to fight with Narrate down. He may well be. He's finally recovered the Outlaw with a chance to do some damage from afar, but the spike is isolated on site. Shin's being spotted. Could be spammed from that wall any time now. They need to close in the distance and find some control on this attack side, because right now it looks like everything is playing towards GIANTX's court. And in a second, blink and you miss it. The kills come in. Shin finds two. And Redgar's alone. The information now finding its way into the hands of KC. There'll be no element of surprise for Redgar. A weaponry disadvantage, but he's got the HP on them at least. 25 shields. Tamazi's tagged and Shin is very low. Problem is, they're not looking to move, Tom. They're just grouped up, waiting, confirming he's still there. And the time is on their side. They'll take the fight. I love the reposition. I love the way they drop the wall to take a 1v2 fight, and it catches him way off guard. 12 rounds for KC right now, Tom. It is not looking pretty. If you're a GIANTX fan, remember, this was their map pick.
What does Shin do here? That's what I want to see, because there's something about Shin and finding ridiculous kills and us never seeing it. He just swings off the back of his teammates going down and insta-kill. He didn't even see the second player. And at the same time, Tamazi takes a fight. Like that is the thing again. So much depth within this team in terms of individual talent. It's the Eng sort of mantra. Let's just pick up duelists and put them in other roles. It means that you can win any round off individual brilliance. And that's exactly what that was. Now look at what GIANTX have to fight with for what is the final round, potentially, of the map.
Couple weaknesses in there, Tom. I think it's fair to say.
Couple?
One or two. Or four.
Yeah, there's one not weakness, and that's on Purple, who's having a rough day at the office, I'll be honest.
It looks like we just missed Redgar getting tagged up as well. I was thinking maybe it was Decay from something, but a glance at the map sees he's on back B site with a Sheriff in hand, 56 HP. And Vitinho's popping the ulti to try and close some distance, find some information. He'll just get here with the gate crash. Flash was a little shallow, but he's on the site. Just wants to be here for Redgar to fight with him, and he picks up one for his trouble, a second as well. They weren't ready for Vitinho, but he needs to do so much more still. Waiting to see Shin's head, but it never comes. Never crests the horizon instead. Purpo and Hoodie are left to do it all. That rifle still yet to find its mark for Purpo. The wall is up, keeping him out, so Hoodie's isolated in the duel. The dash leaves him still in the open, but Purpo recovers. 1 versus 1. Martine having snuck away, and the time ticking down. No smokes for Purpo, not even that cloud burst to get him on the spike, to get it near half. Instead, he has to win the fight. Bait Martine into open combat. It'll be the tap and the hold thereafter, but Martine's wise to it. He's just playing with the clock, running down the timer, and finding his mark in the end. 13-4, a convincing opening map for the side of Carmine Corp. And not a lot of hope for Giant, but it's possible.
I'm trying to figure out why they have the edge.
Odds on them getting more than 4 rounds.
I'd say there's like 50% chance.
There we go. I'll take those odds.
Oh god.
Look, it was a tough start. That's for sure. And now moving into the defensive side here on Sunset, they're not going to have control over the pace. That's something KC are definitely going to bring to the table. A quickened pace and a much faster play towards this B site, as the plant should be coming in fairly soon. Nice and comfy.
Spike planted.
This is not going to be the easiest of retake. Attempting to try and close in the backlines as well. Obviously, Hoodie now taking over that Cypher. It seems like that role is going to be split between multiple players. Surprised Vitinho's not the one taking it, if I'm honest. I think Hoodie's breach is one I enjoy, but nonetheless, we'll see how they make this work. This is something that KC almost enjoy, getting into these post-plant scenarios. They now have that KO as well, which is going to add another layer in terms of the utility, and they may not even need it as they just slaughter every member of that GIANTX squad. The HUD can't even quite believe it just yet.
It can't keep up, Tom, and I don't blame it, considering how things have been going so far. KC, like we said, we expected a quicker pace. It's nasty to see that B setup as well, though. When you play retake on this map, on this site in particular, it is so difficult to avoid just being spammed out from main. There's angles they can hide behind, like this one here for Tamazi. You can't really hit him. There's only a pixel or so of him available, a little wider than that, but it's behind a box, it's through a smoke, and all he has to do is aim at a kind of 5-degree gap. It's very easy to stop that defuse, as we saw. Now for KC, 1-0 on the board. Doesn't look like they're going to change a damn thing, but GIANTX have opted to swap up the setup. Obviously with pistols now, they'll stack up on backside. They'll give them the space, but when they look to take it at the last second, the pistols come around the corner, unfortunately. Martin wasn't so hasty to get around there, and he's got the full breadth of the KC attack to back him up.
Shock dart replay.
It's about as easy as can be. And listen, don't go in on Cloud, right? We're going to let him have one little lineup whiff.
Lineup? I don't know if that was a lineup.
He's been practicing that one for days.
My flank is clear at all times because I'm shock darting behind myself. Oh, for Purpo, this debut, it's definitely not started as he'd hope. Any damage he can do here would be nice, and it's not going to be happening. Narrate is going to add him to the death toll, getting ever closer to Thrash as well, which is not something you want to be facing off against in the early rounds. And this is where GIANTX should be able to get themselves in with a purchase. Now, the one thing I do like compositionally is they're going to have quite a lot that they can use to try and set up Purpo on this one.
No need. There was no need for the replay of that. Yeah, Thrash.
I wanted a slow-mo.
Very dangerous for Nara, yeah, to have these orbs on so soon. Thrash, not to be confused with Thrasher. That's what they call Magnum when he's swimming in the pool. There's an opportunity for them to get this online pretty much right away. An orb and a plant, which, you know, you're going to get with Gecko quite a lot of the time. It's been retake setups from GX towards B this time, though. KC are here to test their mid control with a straight-up blitz, a paranoia, and a dizzy used. So much space claimed. And KC now, they have their way with the A site. Redgar's isolated. If anything, they've turned their back to kill Purpo as well. And where does Redgar go? There's a player in front of him, some behind him, and they're all around, but Redgar got two. Maybe there's still a chance with a 2v2.
Yeah, there's a possibility. Already able to get extra information. The plant actually somewhat being faked. It looks like they're going to go back towards the B site. This is such an intriguing reset of the round. You can see the GIANTX players, they're slowly encroaching on A. They're making their way in. They're checking their angles. They're looking for their opponents. And they're not there. They're gone completely, all the way over to the other side of the map. You can even see Tamazi's got time to reclaim some of his utility, and I think soon, for Hoodie, that the penny is going to drop because he's cleared the entirety of the A site. Finally, they're going to start their run back to the other side of the map. But now they do have that Thrash online ready. They expect them to be closer, Mitch. They expect them to be much closer.
So yeah, he brings it back. I was going to say... Oh, but it didn't really make it that far around the corner. That's not retrievable. Thrash here, a glorified recon drone. It buys them a little bit of time, but there's a drone on the other side. GX will claim back that space, seeing one, but they didn't see the player close. It was destroyed too quickly. Tamazi has the jump, but he loses the fight, and Narrate's now alone. He's good in these positions. Clutching! It's so good! That connection, clinical, and he doesn't even flinch.
The funny thing is as well is it's almost like he let the first player run across. Because the thing is, again, GIANTX, I feel like they played that right. Hoodie runs across because he's low, and then Cloud is the one to peek. Narrate kills the peeking player and then goes back to the low HP one afterwards. I don't know if that's planned, intentional, but look, he snapbacks afterwards. That's disgusting. And 3-0 up, from bad to worse for GIANTX. They're now going to have to go in with a weak bye.
Oh, that's a devastating one as well. Just beaten out of the round by some innovative plays from KCGX. They have some tricks up their sleeve. One of them just shown, early mid push, flash into the double blast packs, but it hasn't worked. And again, the target seems to be the B site. Close nade, not going to clear out any traps. It's the most important one to clear because you just cannot shoot that one. And they send in the wingman, but not with the spike.
Flashbang.
It wasn't a misclick. Yeah, they intend to hit the A site. And look, well, the rotations, I think it's fair to say they've come in on B. There's a lot of Giants players on that B site.
But it's the thing is as well, is what are you going to do in terms of utility to delay? Is Redgar going to use his paranoia here in an eco round? No. At least not until they get back into a retake scenario. Cloud at least having a weapon to play with is something. And they're going to try and at least clear out mid. The fact is, though, KC, they're just playing this as a unit. Like, normally you would have a lurker. Normally you'd have a player behind. You don't need it when you've got such a high weaponry advantage.
It will be a question of damage. Even this early, a lot of KC players have low credits, and here comes GX, their chance now to make this costly. Good to start. 2-2 trades and keeping players close for the spike explosion, if it even goes off. In fact, Fatino's got 3 in just about enough time. Tamazi needs to be quick, getting out of the smoke, and he's hit the diffuser. He might just have won them this. It's close on time.
He has as well! Oh, that's so disgusting! I love just the brains of the players on KC. They shouldn't have even been in that scenario. Ultimately, not a great round for them. They lose everybody. But the fact is, it's that split-second decision of, if I'm going to kill someone, it has to be the guy defusing. And that's exactly what it does. And from another young star. Like that's the thing I always enjoy about KC, is they're a team that are playing above their experience level, above their age. Like, you expect someone who's been on this stage a million times to come out and do a play like that. Tamazi, he's been in Tier 1 for a couple of months.
Hey, Fatino as well. He's not looked too bad. Purpo, though, leading the charge in this one. 2 quick kills, and they're fighting tooth and nail for it, but maybe a little too much overcommitting to the duels, perhaps, until the support comes in. Cloud and Fatino tying that one up nice and neat. And that is one hell of a change from the round we just saw. But the round we just saw was Fatino going in. 3 kills on the breach with a Sheriff. The confidence now might be regained a little bit by GX.
The big thing as well is the economy. Remember the last rounds that we've had it was coming down to the wire. A single player surviving and then 0 players surviving the round after. So actually the main problem that's there for KC is their finances are about as bad as you could ever have to actually buy back into this with. So sure, they have themselves Thrash, they have themselves a couple of SMGs, but that's not what you expect to see for a team that have won this many rounds.
Oh, what? That didn't get a kill. It barely scratched the surface, but Narrate, okay, a return of something for KC. A Rolling Thunder still online. A Cloudburst as well, but I was going to say no chance to use the Rolling Thunder. Narrate's actually had a little bit of a whiff. Fatino a little closer than he was expecting him to be, and these pistols now left for walkabouts. Magnum won't find the space. Shin will be left alone, and with the spike down, it's not really a chance for him to get out of this one with a win.
No, it would basically be down to damage. Can he do anything? Can he remove some weaponry? And you could see GIANTX all grouped up as a unit, a firing squad that he should never be able to connect onto. And it will be another round onto the board for GIANTX. Again, though, not much, if anything, really invested into that round for KC. So this is, again, where you kind of expect to see a bit of a response.
And the last 2 rounds have seen a lot of aggression. Actually, the last few rounds have seen a lot of aggression out of the side of GIANTX. Now here, they can feel confident in taking those duels, considering the weaponry disadvantage their opponents have. They also started it out with a showstopper, which is obviously something you're going to use to break the momentum and charge forward. But it's something that can get a little bit predictable. I don't expect to see them throwing it out round after round. But here again, the blast pack play comes through. The stun has actually caught Purpo.
Yeah.
Which isn't ideal. But
look
either
at
way,
the instant rotation as well. That's the main thing. You already have yourself the majority of the players rotating over on the other side of the map to get themselves set up and ready. Now, the Thrash is at least going to clear some of the utility, but actually sending it forward is only going to slow them down. An immediate response off that Rolling Thunder, but the Showstopper is going to drop Redgar immediately. The flash through, however, is only going to garner a trade. And now that pushback coming through from the side of GIANTX, making things more costly, making things close, as it will just be Tamazi left. A 1 versus 2 as they look to peak this one together. Great work from GIANTX and a good round overall.
Yeah, another very good look from them. A great read. Obviously, on the back of the A aggression, they get so much control. They can be confident that that play is not coming in there, or at least they can rotate on time if it is. The B site has been just straight up blitz when KC go there. They take a lot of space. They overwhelm it. And although we've seen GIANTX play retake before, and it really didn't go too well a couple of times, now we're seeing them get ahead of that, actually fight, take down the wingman, not let the plant go in. This is much more of what we need to see from this squad. They're getting involved and really getting their teeth into this. A third round already found.
Do it again.
On the heels of KC. Aggression. No, this is what I'm saying. It's not the same from GIANTX. You can't just push up like that every round. Eventually, there's going to be 5 guys staring at you when you make a round.
Look at the jump already. I thought Martin might actually be able to get away with that, as he does get very far forward. Again, they make these rounds look competitive, but the amount of HP they've already lost should make this easy pickings for the rest of GIANTX.
It would have to be a crazy round for them to recover. Even with this smoke down, those players aren't going to go barreling through. I'll give you the time that you want to get that spike planted, because they've got the numbers advantage to work with. I do like that they're just sticking together too. Just a blob of defenders. As I see Redgar go back the other way, get a little worried, but he's got the HP on them. And he was only holding it for a moment. 45 seconds, a ton of time. Looks like we're going round the world for both squads. KC might just get an open A site plan. But either way, this is the plan for GIANTX all along. Let them plan. Yeah. Maybe we catch them off guard here or there, and then we play the retake as a team.
The big thing is how much utility is available for GIANTX because of how fast-paced this round was for the side of KC. There's not really going to be any opportunities to wean out that utility. So you've still got Paranoia, you've still got Nade, Aftershock, Flashes, Stun. Like, they should have everything needed for them. Now, being in mid, they will be able to, or they should be able to hear what direction they need to go in. And the main thing for GIANTX is that they don't get caught off guard. They don't make a mistake giving up a kill. And for now, at least, they are still sticking together as a unit. The only worry for me is they are moving very slow.
Yeah, the timer's going to be ticked away. There's some weapons to spam with. Narrate, not really. He's on the Vandal. A chance for Shin. We'll see. I mean, it's going to be down to blind luck, essentially. They're willing to gamble this round with the lower HP on spam wins. It's not always going to work out. Defuse underway. Out of bullets. Spray from Shin is good. A few bullets connect, and Narrate closes it. They gambled this round on spams through the smoke.
Oh, no.
And it's worked out in their favor. KC can't put a foot wrong. The lead will remain in their hands.
They shouldn't have won that round. They really, really shouldn't have won that round. Like, the initial spam, I was like, okay, that's a nice kill, but surely still GIANTX are going to be able to convert this. And then the rate, what's that?
That's a headshot.
What even is that? It's just a blind random spray that just takes out one player and gives him an easy 1v1 on the second. I don't know how they've managed to take that one home. And actually, maybe they agree, because KC are going to be the ones to take a pause.
What a weird time to be alive, man. I've got Zelsis convincing me to be a fan of Sentinels. And out 11-4 right now as a Gecko. Thrash is almost back online. We've seen it a few times.
Also, Tamazi, again, like as I said, I think before being in this team, he'd played Cypher 5 times ever. It's his second map in a row. It looked pretty decent on the last. It's looking fantastic at the moment in this map. It is showing just how much depth a lot of these, like I said, duelist players actually have within. Again, they're going to have themselves a free reign into the site. Now, bear in mind, there was early contact last time out. The afterplant didn't happen. And there was a lot in terms of the retake. They had a Rolling Thunder. Now, there is a Hunter's Fury available for Cloud, which he's going to try and throw through here. But he's actually had to give up on it, or, well, didn't have a choice because of the null command.
Yeah, had to give up on it very literally. Good ult by Magnum, countering it perfectly. Fight in towards spawn. They can't overcommit to this. GX are tucked in some nasty positions. In fact, it was Vitinho I was talking about. He's given it away as 3 look to push forward, but the reposition from Tamazi. You mentioned his Cypher looked good, but this is just him looking good. Fantastic play. And even though he's gone down to 4, he stopped Breach, Vitinho, from being able to put any util down, from being able to fight with his team. Maybe that trade would have changed the course of this entirely with the players in main. 80 HP, 30 HP. They just needed that extra gun in the fight, but they couldn't get it.
Do we have a rule that we're not allowed to show Shin multifrags live in the round? Because like before it was a joke, but I'm genuinely starting to believe it now. Now, don't get me wrong.
Zilv hates Shin.
We should have been following Tomazi there because he had the right position to get the kills, and then Shin
100%.
just peeks and absolutely wrecks everyone. And this guy as well, like, you have to think about the team he was in last year, his own individual level last year. It wasn't even comparable to what we're seeing from him, even from kickoff, from Masters, and here today. And what, again, we were at a scenario where GIANTX get to 3 rounds, and immediately it's like KC just flip a switch, turn back on, and they're far in the lead once again. Now, this has been one of the major successes. That aggression coming out from Purpo, spots nothing, but gets them info.
Again, though, that info's worked well when it's an A site play or a slow B. This time, though, much pacier again. And the paranoia has delayed them entirely. Shin just about snuck away from that bullet, dodged it. As GX look to wrap back around, that spike still needs to be planted. They want to take advantage of the chaos with quick kills coming in. And Thrash used up. It's actually caught them. Huge with Redgar. I don't know what's happening with that right there. But he's caught Redgar in the end. Bought some time perhaps for Tomazi to come up and find this quick kill, make it more awkward, but he's left in a 1v2. Tomazi to do it all. And the defuse down right underneath his nose. He's going to go for the spams instead, but they're off it. They're willing to run down this clock a little bit, and the cage didn't quite reach where it needed to. Purpo on his 3rd kill of the round and gets GX a 4th.
Yeah, he's definitely looking a little bit better. I think with especially a lot of the retakes that GIANTX are playing into, they're sending in a lot of utility to just give him space, get back into the site. What? I don't even know who got killed there. But then, yeah, just moving as a unit and allowing him to just put that raw individual aim. And Fatinho as well, really putting up some numbers here. Now, they got that showstopper back online once again. And Rolling Thunder's not far away. So things definitely starting to look a little bit better for GIANTX, but there is still going to be a purchase coming in for the side of KC.
Well, fighting to equalize this scoreline at the half. GIANTX have quite a battle on their hands, looking for a B main crunch with lots of utility thrown through, but cancelled out. Well placed. Knife coming out of Magnum, but Shin's fall into the spams. They're running through this util, and they're losing their lives to it. A showstopper used, confirms the round. Purpo even landing his 3rd back-to-back. GX, 5 on the board. Rolling Thunder online, rifles in their hand. This could be a much better half than it was looking like it would be.
Yeah, it's been a sort of back and forth in terms of streaks of rounds, but to level it up after what was a pretty rough start to this map would really not be a bad showing from GIANTX whatsoever. I think as well, the fact that we are seeing Purpo come more and more into this game is going to be really important because he is the pinnacle. When it comes to that attack side, he's going to be the focal point of their entire move. Again, though, it seems like the same again. KC, they are not going to shy away from this B site, feeling comfortable in their post plants once they can get there. That's what GIANTX have been doing well, though. They've been stopping them getting there in the first place.
Well, that's it. Interrupting, disrupting these pushes. Last round it was inside B main. This time it's going to be market they fight for. Magnum quickly claims control. The retake on the backside, though, it's spiked down now under their control. GIANTX might have something to work with. They know the Purpo's here. They know the site is lost, at least they're spotting that as we speak. A costly bit of information. Good blast pack, but the player's too close. Cloud got his double. They've shut down Purpo, leaving it to the 1 versus 1. The sneak around from the right, 45 HP, spotted, trap destroyed, headshot angle, but Hoodie hits the shot. 2 HP remaining, but it's enough just about.
Yeah, I was seeming like in some of the early stages of this matchup that the Cypher might just be a little bit cursed for GIANTX, and I won't lie, Redgar's still not been having the best of days. I think maybe having a new player, a little bit more micromanagement that needs to be done. But the half looking much better. 6 of the last 8 rounds going the way of GIANTX, and now, as said, heading into that attack side, that's where Hoodie's going to be able to get on those lurks a little bit more, and as said, that's where Purpo and Fatinho is still going to be that double duo, those setups that are going to have to be put into place well for him to get those opening kills.
Well, Second half is sure to be exciting. The pressure on for the side of GIANTX. They don't want to be kicking this off with a loss. Already making this map close against a team that did so well internationally and regionally last, I don't want to call it stage, but in kickoff.
Cover going out.
But that's not an accolade that they're looking for. They want to beat them. They want to take that spot in Shanghai, and it's going to be a long road for them. Even in this series, 6-6 pistol round, carry some weight. They can farm up some rounds. It could be good for them, but Redgar off to a poor start. He's dropped off rip, but it looks like they want to fight for spawn here.
Yeah, this might be the wrong call. There's a couple of players waiting. The flash should actually be able to catch Martini, dodges it, but still isn't able to take that fight. Magnum not quite quick enough on the trade. Narrate also looking to push in. He did damage early in the round to Cloud, keeping them low, but this death ball, the swing's coming out. It's not pretty for Magnum, but eventually he gets the job done. Left onto Cloud, dinked at the beginning of the round. Left on 20 to try and find 2. Spike planted, not in a bad position for him, but you can see Magnum already just pre-firing some of the shots. The smoke onto it is going to make things all the more difficult. Needs his kill immediately, and even the tap to the face isn't quite going to be enough. It will be KC to regain their lead. A second pistol as well in this map should give them good opportunity to convert it, but we already know that GIANTX are pretty good with those comebacks so far in this map at least.
Yeah, they definitely have been. I mean, a slower start is never ideal, but they can pick it up towards the end. That's all good. Just the pistol makes it that little bit more difficult. It swings the odds into KC's favor. They've got the lead in the half, and they've got an injection of rounds. I don't expect to see a force buy coming out of GIANTX. Probably just take it on the chin and move on to round number 15. And as we can see, indeed, it will be just classics. The one ghost on Hoodie. An opportunity to fight together. They use their utility off rip, stuns, nades. Actually, no, the nade wasn't even thrown out from Purpo there. I thought it was. I guess KC just using a lot of that utility to push GIANTX back, but they've pushed them into a wide open A site, barring the traps.
This is the classic setup, though. KC absolutely love to play retake on this map, so they are more than happy to give up that space, allow for that plant to come through. The only real danger in this round is going to be Hoodie on the lurks. It's being checked for, but he is so passive that he's not going to be found. The only thing will be if he can hit that timing just right. The thing is, the main problem, that weaponry disadvantage.
They're close range, though. They got the numbers to work with. Cloud has somehow picked 3 with a classic in his hand. This is unbelievable. They shouldn't have had a chance in this round, and instead Cloud got 4 kills. Starting with that with a classic and finding 3 of them with it. I mean, I'm going to need a replay of that. I have no idea how he managed that.
I'm fairly sure that they've lost every single pistol so far in this game. And every single time in the map, there has been a point. And most of the time it was the bonus round, like where they were coming in with rifles. Oh. This time he does it a little bit earlier, where he comes out with a multi-frag that they never really should be winning.
Boo, 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 boo. He's got him back. He's got him back. Firing back. And 7-7. We're tied up again. I said the pistol was a big factor. I said I didn't expect GIANTX to force buy. Well, they didn't. They still won the round. Now we're neck and neck. And in fact, the ball's in their court. Weapons for the attackers and none for the defense.
There you go, Stinger.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Yeah, watch that get 4 kills.
It is Martine. When there's a will, there's a way. I don't know if the Mitchman curse is that strong, but we'll have to wait and see. Are they going to check? They are. No way that Tomazi survives much longer in that one. Magnum already gone. The rest of them just looking to run around the corner. And while Martine is the only one left, it will be 1 kill at least. But for the first time, well, I guess in either map, GIANTX are actually going to take themselves the lead. 8-7 up. Bear in mind as well, last time, they did actually play this map within the series, and it was the map that GIANTX won. And that was the thing that sort of surprised me in this veto. Obviously a map that KC have been very confident in, and maybe with the changes, scrim results, we don't know. But the fact is, right now, they're down.
Well, barely anyone died as well in that previous round. With the context of that and a full eco win in the round prior, the economy for GX now looks pretty solid, pretty secured for the coming rounds. A big challenge for KC on their map pick, as their defense is now really under threat. This defense being challenged on the B side. Paranoia is used as they claim control of the site. It hasn't pushed anyone back, though. because Tamazi is playing the retake. Part of the plan from the get-go for Carmine Core. And if they do go for the B main post plan, you've got a showstopper on Martin.
Hunter's Fury used proactively, though. I like the idea. Purpo's been able to catch one as well. They've lost Redguard, but they're not allowing them to get into the retake. This adaptation from GIANTX is wonderful. They know exactly what their opponents are going for. As said, we set up this map knowing the KC love to go for the retakes. If you think Pipson and Milan aren't also looking at those VODs and working out the way they want to play, and so far GIANTX have done fantastically well just to be disruptive. Get in their face, put the Hunter's Fury through the second they're setting up, throw in Purpo to take some fights aggressively and just not allow those positions to be taken. Solid round from GIANTX, and while, okay, the showstopper will still be there, the couple of rifles will still be there, as there's nobody even remotely close to clearing out these players. The problem, though, for KC, the scoreline now starting to slip away for them.
Well, this is it. Yeah, a position that didn't look like they were going to find themselves in. And GX certainly have something to work with. Like you're saying, I like the idea from them. We've seen KC, they're not really pushed out of their comfort zone in those first 20, 30 seconds. They give up control, they step back, and they know they've got the way back in. And the problem was they were expecting, like I said, GX to plant the spike, go back in main, play that post plant. Instead, they push forward. They take those fights to them. It's a much, much better look. They're finding success. And in round number 17, double digits now possible for this attacking squad.
Passive they are.
It's the same thing from KC, the same setup, I guess, because they didn't use...
No, I mean GIANTX. I think they were expecting aggressive elements in this round. So for the first 30 seconds, they just sit there. They go, okay, they've got double flashes. They're going to want to push us. They're going to want to send Martin in, maybe with that showstopper. So let's just wait and see. The thing is, though, the read out from KC is fantastic. 4 players within this site this time. As said, most of the time they've been playing retake. The problem is they have given the game away.
They did. They did damage too. Purpo down to 40 HP. But all that utility coming through, the spams as well, it scared them. GX, though, might not be changing direction so much as changing their approach. Fighting for some mid control. Split through market possible here with still the B lurk. I'm expecting that's what they're aiming for. The smoke's on the left side of mid, not using it more passive like you'd expect to cover their
30 seconds
cross
left.
through. I think that's just trying to keep players in position. And to some extent, it's worked. As soon as they hear that util, the wrap is back around. The players move to the site. Magnum, good for one. Showstoppers caught another, and this has slowed down the push from GX, but still, the man advantage isn't that far gone, but 12 seconds is the main problem. The plant needs to come through, and it looks like it will, but the blitz right afterwards puts them in the ground.
Oh, really good round from KC. Again, I don't mind the initial setup that we saw from GIANTX. They were passive, they were patient, they were waiting for their opponents, but this time KC were just happy to stack up a site, get the read right initially, and then just almost stick around ready to have all of that utility remaining for the end. And I think that was the main thing, is that GIANTX, because of their slow pace, because they weren't really pressuring them until right at the end, you still had a showstopper, you still had a paranoia, you still had pretty much every single piece of utility available to then delay to the very last seconds. And, well, for GIANTX, not a round you'd be hoping to lose. Luckily, because of the way the rounds have gone, they have a lot of credits, and they have their ults building up as well.
This is going to be a blitz. Or at least I thought it was from the defensive side. It's a late paranoia. They were waiting for the contact. 4 players here, and this looks more like they're trying to push GIANTX back than to actually catch them with a quick play. Drone goes up, re-smoked, rolling thunder, time to run. Showstopper searching for a target, but not found it. Martin dies in the end, and Thrash claims the target, but there's no way to capitalize on it. They've got to fall back. GIANTX have earned that advantage.
This is now problematic for KC. A man down already, but I like the way that they're re-aggressing, trying to take back some control. It is being watched by Redguard, and there's a trip there as well. GIANTX instead have just opted to slow right down. The thing is, with the re-aggression from this defense, they could catch them. Pop Flash looking to go over the top, trying to reclaim some space. They had the close angle cleared already by the Gecko utility, and Magnum is now going to clear Redguard, who seemed to be lost.
I think they genuinely didn't notice the trap was broken behind and the chaos and the noise. I don't know, the flash would have helped that much, but they were definitely unaware. KC, though, unaware of the player towards the backside. Cloud's got the perfect position to pounce. He's found his one, but he won't get much more than that, and KC quickly stormed the site. I was all in on Cloud stocks there, but wow, they went plummeting.
Yeah, I don't think it helped that his entire team died.
But that was it. They buy one more second? Maybe.
I think that's the moment where he's like, guys, I'm behind them, just don't.
I got one, everyone's dead? Oh.
But I genuinely think that Redgar, I don't know if he was setting up a smoke, but they made it very clear that they were coming from behind. Like, they broke the trip, they threw a flash over the top. So I guess that either it just wasn't calmed or
they threw the knife too.
Yeah.
From behind.
It just seemed like, yeah, just got a little bit lost, and that was what gave them the space to basically come back in on the retake.
And to be fair, if anything, maybe I'm misreading it, but I'm fairly certain he was hit by that knife, so he could not have been setting up a smoke.
Maybe.
Is just lost in the sauce for a second. And I guess trying to coordinate the push, it got a little chaotic. These things happen. It's been tough. And at 9-9 for the side of GIANTX, they've at least still got rifles. They'll have some ultis, but not actually any good ones. This rifle round's going to have a lot on the line for them. Texas with a one win up with a 2-0 in terms of maps. It's all possible.
Yeah, they'd have
for
4
KC.
points.
Maybe racking it up.
No one else is even going to be remotely close. They'll be the only team still with points. Yeah. But of course, GIANTX still stand in their way. We're at a 9-9 scoreline. It definitely isn't done yet, and it looks like we're going straight back in to what will be this B site take once again. Already, though, set up immediately for a retake. Thomasy has just spammed through the smoke and managed to take 2 heads off while he's doing it. Taking over completely. The young man from Portugal could have had himself an ace. It's not going to be happening. Should have stolen it away, but dear Lord, that was an absurd round from the youngster.
What the hell did he say in that pause, Tom? How do you set that one up?
Tomasi narrates almost overtaking you on the scoreboard.
Wake up, boy. Look at this, man. Through the smoke was ridiculous. 2 players, granted, blinded, but swinging out and just popping their heads like birthday candles. Let's go. 10-9 for KC. Coming out of a pause, swinging. But GX aren't on their last legs just yet. They've still got some credits left to expand, and they're going to take another shot at it. Round disadvantage, but a man disadvantage now has been gifted to KC.
The peak there? I guess there must have been some sort of flash that was thrown out, but it clearly was dodged by Purpo. Able to find that opener, and it's not something I'm maybe a little bit overconfidence from KC after the last round. I can't really blame them.
I know exactly where you
already. Information going to be taken. You can see immediately Tomasi's going to rotate in to try and take a little bit of extra space off the back of the TP as well. They're going to try and fake information that there's less players on A. I like the idea, using the from the shadows to try and bait things out a little bit, although it will have been heard. They've got the right players in the right place at the right time.
It's all about how this blitz comes down after, and it looks like it won't come down at all. GX just back out. KC, what did they hear? What did they see? They're rotating off the A site completely. They're stacking up this B site. I mean, the read is once again absolutely perfect from a dead Magnum. And now this play through, they're running into Tomasi. They try to deal with him, but they don't know how many more players are waiting. The flash through even catches Hoodie. They know where he is. That flash gave it well away, and Hoodie, well, he'll try his best, at least finding the first. Swinging up close, he doesn't know there's a player in the corner, and I heard a few more bullets than I should have, but he got there in the end.
Why is that the one we see? 11-9. Again, the round starts off well for the side of GIANTX. They get the opener. They actually get the read initially correct, but the rotations from KC are just sublime. I don't know if Eng has just the gift of foresight, and that was what the pause was for. He's like, okay, in the next round, Thomasy, you're going to get 4 kills. Round after that, they're going to initially play towards the A side, rotate back to B. Because it just looked like they had the script. It looked like they could see a monitor somewhere in the arena and just knew exactly where their opponents were going, because it just followed them all the way around the map. Martin now invested into the operator as well, and it is another buy for GIANTX, but this is slipping.
It is, and they're down to their last legs in terms of credits. Ults, you know, they could come online towards the end. Maybe Purpo and Cloud were particularly looking at a good plant or orb claim for Vitinho, and he's been doing pretty well in terms of kills. Reflash out from KC, mid-control taken, guaranteed by the fact that nobody was spotted by the Dizzy. They'll move towards this B side and the side of GX, but look at that. 5 agents have been suppressed, have been detected, and that op is going to be trained on the angle. The smoke up, well, it'll allow them to still get them when they come through. Of course, the flashes you're expecting to see. Nade going to slice up this attack a little bit. Purpo isolated, spam down. Tamazi takes him in the open, and the camera's getting all the information all the while. They have no idea that they're being spotted. Caught in 4K as KC pushed to 12.
Guys, I remember last year looking at someone like Tamazi, this guy, just a ridiculously talented duelist that could throw out a neon and look fantastic. If you told me that going into next year that he'd be one of my favorite ciphers after only playing it for a couple of maps, I think I'd call you crazy. But he had everything this round. The utility was on point, repositioning consistently, finding the kills as well. Currently sits top of the board, 23 and 14. Well, the pause button has been slammed once again. This time it's going to be GIANTX and
Well, 1 round needed, 3 chances to close this out and put themselves off to a crazy start to the season. I mean, GX are a team that we consider, like, right now, I think they're the team that could be taking that 4th spot, right? Points dependent. I wouldn't be upset to see them push the international stage.
Oh, hello.
But I don't think they're one of the best out there right now. The cream of the crop, that's KC. But without Shin, they might struggle in this round. Smoke's now down. This gets a little tougher. Narrate is incredibly, yeah, I really thought he was about to get 3 kills there.
Oh, Magnum has to be forced off by the drone. Has some counter utility. They definitely know he's there. They know that Narrate is around this position as well. Rotation coming in. This might be the moment to fall back, but actually, Hoodie moving forward. Again, the rotations are quick enough at this stage. Hunter's Fury through. It's going to be dodged, and in the meantime, while it's being utilized, pretty much everyone goes down, leaving this into just 1 player standing. Cloudy's been their hero a couple of times. He's given them a round that maybe they shouldn't in the past, but to keep them in this series, to keep them in this map, he needs to pull off a miracle. 30 seconds to do it.
30 seconds left.
Well, I think this one's sealed, signed, and perhaps delivered. Cloud, 20 seconds. They are waiting, biding their time, knowing he can't get that spike planted and kill us all in time. And with 12 left, it's a formality as to when and how he goes down, not if. Of course, it's Tamazi to pick up another. A lights out.